It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, the only place to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about. It's episode 215, and on the program today, I hope you brought your appetite with you, Daniel.
Yes.
Yeah, and guess what? I've got family in town with us. I got my brother Rick, who's in the studio, and of course, Mom over here to the left-hand side of me. She's got the headphones on. This is her first opportunity to see how we do Happy Camper Radio behind the scenes. Great program today. We're going to be talking about all of those camp favorites that we've enjoyed over the years. Great menu. I hope you brought your appetite to do it. It's episode 215 of the Happy Camper Radio Show, coming to your ears right now. And, of course, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. You can find us in the iTunes Store and Podbean, MyRoGuide, Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, and, of course, on Spotify. Tell all your friends to tune into Happy Camper Radio today. You can get in touch with us here at the show by calling 404-537-2267, 404-537-CAMP. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. On the web, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. You can check out any one of our previous episodes dating all the way back to 2013. And Rick, glad to have you in the studio with us today.
It's good being back, Skip. It's been a while.
Yes, it certainly has. And, for some of our longtime listeners, I know they've heard a few episodes that you were on. I think the last one we did together was up in Mount Airy, North Carolina, a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. And Daniel, we've gone camping before, yes?
Yes, we have.
And we've really put on the feed bag, too, when we went out there.
Yeah.
Oh, my heavens.
You set it up. I knocked it down.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, but one thing that's different between you and me. All right, I don't have to run to the store every day to pick something up when I go camping because I am self-sufficient. I have everything that I need right there in the cooler. I plan things in advance. The only problem I have is I always pack way too much.
That's true.
And I am bringing more groceries home than I really want to. One of these days, I'm going to nail it down.
But I think of it as an adventure. That's what it's all about, Skip. Camping is an adventure, and that's what I'm talking about.
Well, now I know when I spot you in the local grocery store,
I'll be there.
You are on an adventure.
Adventure.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, I'll tell you, there's always some great opportunities to take in some outdoor activities.
Yes.
And Rick and I here were doing just the same a week ago Sunday. We talked about that movie program that we had in the backyard, and we got drenched. We got rained out.
Halfway through.
We
thought we were going to make it, but your luck. Look, you need to go out west, Skip, because I hear they're hurting out there. You are the rain god. I'm just saying, everywhere you go, it rains.
Well, a week ago Sunday,
you might want to rent out your services.
We were going to watch a movie right out here in the backyard. Now, Rick had not seen the big screen.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's got one at home, but I think the one he has a little bit smaller.
A little bit smaller.
Okay, well, we got this big monstrous...
Size doesn't always matter there.
The big monstrous 20-foot screen, and we got it all set up, and Daniel, no sooner did we get it all ready to go, we hadn't even brought the lawn chairs out.
Oh, boy.
The sky opened up.
Ugh.
I was so furious, Daniel. I came very close to taking that entire outfit and throwing it in the dumpster that night.
You need a canopy big enough to, engulf the projector, the screen, and everyone watching the movie, just in case something happens.
I will still be jinxed. It doesn't matter.
You need a circus tent.
But one of these days, I'm telling you, we will get through a movie, and it won't be Home Alone. Okay, it'll be a great movie.
Right.
Hey, Daniel, something we haven't done in a while. We've got a few shout outs. Yeah, let's go ahead and recognize some Facebook followers here. And let me see, who do we have? We got Tony Barnhart, Vincenzo, Lenore Nava Price, I believe that is, Joe Beck, Travis Bain, and Teresa Mitchell. Every one of them are liking us on Facebook. Glad to have each and every one of you on the program. Thank you all so very much. And more importantly, thank you for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Daniel, we're talking about food today.
Uh-oh.
And, I know I decided we're going to go ahead and wait for lunch until after the show because I know before we hit the last button on the console, your stomach is probably going to be growling.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I promised you bratwurst today, and I did get the sauerkraut, and yes, I got some hoagie buns this time.
All right. Okay?
This is the kind of food that we even enjoy at camp.
Uh-huh.
Now, Rick, I've always planned the menus. I did the best I could, and you are the camp chef whenever you're in town.
It's a job I got stuck with a long time ago.
But you're good at it. You're really good at it.
That's only because the other guys that I camped with weren't good.
Yeah, well, I think the other guys at camp are lazy is what it really boils down to. And, one of the things that's so important about camping is one thing to be able to have all the food that you want to have and everything you have on the menu, but you've got to have good gear in order to prepare that food. Now, here's a brief little story, and I'm not going to touch on this too much, but my sister-in-law got in touch with me here a few weeks back. She and her husband went on a camping trip. Now, I remember her when she was in diapers, okay? She's well-grown now. She's been to college, and she's out of college, and she is one of those culinary chefs. And I've tasted some of her food, and believe me, it is just absolutely delicious. And I know she's very educated. But she went ahead and sent me an email a couple weeks ago saying that she went out on a camping trip, and as far as the food preparation went, it failed miserably. And the first thing came to my mind was, what are you preparing your food on? What type of camping equipment do you have? And she had a Coleman 2-burner stove, and she had propane. She did not use regular Coleman fuel. So, the fuel was regulated. And then I asked her what kind of equipment that she was preparing it on. A lot of folks do bring household items with them to camp, like your pots and pans and your utensils and things like that. I know if you go down the camping aisle at your local Walmart store or maybe your sporting goods store, they've got all kind of pots and pans that are designed specifically for camping. I'm not crazy about those, are you?
Well, they have their purpose. When we first started out camping, we just grabbed the pots and pans from Mom's stove.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Then we started being able to afford some camping gear, and we cut the weight of our packs in half. Now, if you're backpacking, you want to go with the lightweight gear like that. So, that serves its purpose. For your type of camping at a campground, you can afford to have a little bit better gear.
What do you mean afford? Well, okay, I don't have to afford it because I've already bought it. All right. But, I do believe using like the Teflon pots and pans, Teflon-coated pots and pans because, they're easier to clean.
Oh, yeah.
We know just from being at home. And, I tell people all the time, if you can't afford to go out and buy some brand new gear, if you can't afford to buy some Teflon-coated pots and pans, wait till the stuff at home wears out and you get new gear at home. Then instead of throwing that stuff out, just put it in your camping supply box and you'll have it. Because, it's going to be used anyway, and it's going to, take the outdoor abuse, if you want to call it that. But it's going to be a lot easier to cook on. So I asked her, says, you went ahead, you got a good stove, you're using, some pots and pans, from home. And then she went on to tell me a little bit further. She says, maybe because I prepared meals ahead of time, put them in the cooler, and I packed it in dry ice. I'm going, aha, yeah, I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem right there. Because, your food is really frozen if you're going to be using dry ice versus your, regular bags of ice that you get, say, at the convenience store or, at the camp store, wherever that's at. So I said, no, don't do that. Just prepare everything from scratch and, just keep it simple. I know you've got this in your blood. You're a good chef. You know how to prepare meals and everything. But, don't go out of your way like you do in the kitchen at home. Because that's going to really create problems right there. So just make it simple. Make tacos, for example. We were born and bred on hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yep.
We're talking about bratwurst, which we're having for lunch, Daniel, with sauerkraut. How simple is that to prepare?
Very simple. Okay. You're a simple man.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I says, just go ahead. Don't, take it as a learning lesson. Next time you go camping, keep it simple. Definitely use your 2-burner Coleman stove and your propane heat and whatever you're going to be using. And I think you're going to be okay. And, definitely don't bring the dry ice this time. If you've got a good cooler, and I've got a couple of them, Daniel, that one the last one I bought, I mean, that holds the ice for maybe 3 to 4 days before you have to actually.
What do you have? What do you have?
I've got a very large Coleman, Coleman cooler.
Dying at the
and I'll tell you what,
thing.
Betty Crocker, she actually had me pull it out of the shed because she bought some very large turkeys.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a Thanksgiving time, but she bought them at the store because they were on sale. And she likes to go ahead and prepare food for the dogs ahead of time. And she puts them in the crock pot and everything. But, we needed a place for those turkeys to be stored because they're very large and they didn't fit in our side-by-side refrigerator freezer. So we went ahead and packed that in ice, and it lasted several days before we had to actually put more ice in there.
Yeah, well, I've got an Arctic, and that's like, they say that is better than a Yeti. We got one secondhand off of I think it was like Facebook Marketplace, but that holds ice pretty good. I mean, it melts, but like the water is very, very cold, so that's always done us pretty well.
Now, I'll tell you something I have not seen lately in the line of coolers, and we should have checked this out, Rick, when we went up to Cabela's here last week. And speaking of Cabela's, look at you. You're in your brand new
recliner chair.
Your recliner chair, like the one I've got.
Yep, exact same one.
Okay, yeah, and mine's out on the patio.
Yeah, the zero gravity chair. I already fell asleep in this thing a couple times.
And believe me, I have fallen asleep in those chairs a number of times by the campfire. And I'm usually doing that while Daniel and his wife are out hiking somewhere.
Right. And we're always busy.
But, I'll be laying there, just with my head kicked back and thinking about, well, what's going to be on the menu today?
Tacos.
Yeah, tacos are pretty good, and they're very easy to prepare.
So can we talk about, like, when we don't have all the, comforts of bringing a truck to the camp and unloading 5 tubs of whatever? Like, when you're backpacking, you got to think about light. You got to think about... So you said your sister-in-law, or who was it?
Yes, my sister-in-law.
Okay, your sister-in-law. Take all the food she makes, and if you're going to go hiking, you want to dehydrate all that because, you put it in a vacuum seal bag, you dehydrate it, and then when you get to camp, you add some hot water, or not even hot water, just regular water. Bam, it's
Daniel,
done.
2 points I got to bring out here. Okay, number one, we're not talking about hiking. We're talking camping here.
That's what you do when you're hiking.
Point number two, you've got a lot of nerve to sit there and say, keep it light. When the last time we went camping, you made it a point that I had to haul 16 different boxes. How far to the campsite?
It was like a couple hundred feet.
Yeah, that's right.
And I helped you.
Yeah, I don't think you helped me
That's why we go
much.
That's why we go to the local Walmart and get what we need. So the way I camp is, you want to bring the essentials. You want to bring cups. You want to bring spoons. You want to bring the ketchup. You want to bring the seasoning, ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, whatever. But you don't know what you want. I mean, you're not always in the mood for tacos or bratwurst. You're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I want a steak. Maybe I want this. You go to the local Walmart. You go to the local grocery store. Oh, you have all the options. But when you pack everything, we're like, well, today is tacos. Tomorrow is whatever. Tomorrow is hot dogs. You have more options. You have more flexibility.
Tacos was just the first thing that come to my mind, Danny. Okay, but when I'm talking preparation,
right?
I want to go ahead and have it all written down before I go on that adventure in the grocery store, like as you would call it.
It's an adventure,
and buy everything that I need. All right, Rick, we have typical breakfast. I think the last day we had at Mount Airy, we had about 2 dozen eggs that we had to be cooked up.
We had a lot of food left over.
We had a lot of food left over, but wow, you made more scrambled eggs. You made an omelet. I mean, that huge pan. I'm saying, how is the 3 of us going to finish this off?
We did.
Yeah, we managed.
Wow.
But yeah, you bring your appetite whenever you go camping, of course.
Yeah.
that's exactly how it works.
And your trekking poles, right? To make do a hike. Hello?
Now,
No?
for some people
Never mind.
who are not campers, and I have talked to this about before, I kind of, to me, it doesn't bother me at all, but to sit there and describe some of the breakfast food that I have when I'm camping, I just like to look at the expression on their face. As you know, we talk about scrambled eggs, talk about hash browns, and what breakfast is not complete at a campground unless you have baked beans included.
Oh.
Don't forget the bacon.
That's more of a English thing.
You got the bacon.
We had beans and toast the other day, and we got the legit English beans, and it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
You ever had beans and toast, Skip?
No.
It's pretty good.
We'll
It's
wait
not
till our
bad.
next camping trip, and I'll try it.
All right.
Okay. You know,
We've got beans.
yeah. As long
Went
as
to World Market
there's
for
no
'em.
onions,
No
onions
onions,
inside.
onions
Yeah,
are
in the
the
beans.
best,
Okay,
though.
I will be perfectly
Onions are
fine
the
with that.
best.
Okay. But you know, pancakes also, Rick. You know, you got to bring a griddle with you. You've got to bring a griddle if you're going to have pancakes, French toast. You know, your typical breakfast. You know, for a Saturday morning at home. You can have that at camp just about any day.
And it's so simple to make.
It is, you know, and as Daniel was saying, you know, you definitely want to keep it simple. And you know, if you do run out of things, and I make it a point not to, but some folks, you know, that depending upon, they get to camp and they find out they have a bigger appetite than you normally would at home. Yeah, you may have to run out to the campground convenience store and buy a loaf of bread or maybe a half gallon of milk or something like that. Okay, but you know, you're always going to have, you know, most of your stuff on hand. And if you plan right, you're going to have everything you need for your entire camping trip. So, you know, those are some of the breakfast menus, you know, that we talk about. And, you know, you can always get creative too. You know, I've had macaroni and cheese for breakfast before.
Out of the box.
Ugh.
Well, see, there, Rick,
Box macaroni and cheese,
I should have snapped a picture of that. Those are the type of faces that I when I talk to people about what I have for breakfast.
was out of the box.
Yeah. Oh, the faces.
Out of the box. Oh my gosh.
I'm just not a big macaroni and cheese fan.
Okay.
Well, if you do it right, I mean, like
Sure, you
Southern
do it right.
macaroni
Kraft
and cheese.
Yeah, but
macaroni
he
and
likes
cheese
to
in
get
the
it
box.
out of the
The
box.
the box is fine, but it's,
No,
it's
the box
just
is not fine.
I mean, it's feasible. It's edible. Let's just put it that
The
way. but-
powdered cheese? No,
Yeah,
thanks.
I mean, I'm not a big picky eater, but still, like,
No, it depends
the
upon
real
how much
stuff
milk and butter you put
makes
in
a
there.
difference.
You know, if you get the right combination, it's kind of gooey and everything. So,
What do you put in your macaroni and cheese? I used to put hot dogs. Some people put ham in theirs. Do you ever do
No,
that?
I don't actually put anything in it as I'm preparing, but when it's on the plate and it's piping hot, I will put some Parmesan cheese on it as well as some cayenne pepper.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Which will
Okay.
light you up early in the morning and get your day started.
It'll get you
Something
it'll
you
get
ought to
you started all right.
Something you ought to
Started the
continue,
bathhouse.
Daniel, before you decide to go on a 4 or 5 mile hike.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you don't have to keep your breakfast traditional. You know, try some different things, you know, whatever works. And if you're camping with your family, get everybody's input. Get everybody's idea of what they may like. As many camping trips as we went on up in Hiawassee, Rick, some of our breakfasts were as early as 4:30 in the morning.
Well, when we were up there for hunting, we had to get out while the sun was still, before the sun got up.
Exactly, and we went to bed usually late at night, but we were up bright and early, and we felt refreshed, even with maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Try that at home, you know, and you wake up at 4 o'clock. No, I'm not going to do this now. I'm going right back to bed. So, you know, once you get your breakfast taken care of, then, you know, definitely you can start thinking about what you're going to have for lunch. Now, you know, if you're type of a person that's going to lay around the camp like I do, you're probably going to have snacks in between. So, you know, you're always going to have something there. And definitely make sure that you have plenty of liquids, especially in this time of year. You know, we're right here in early August, and it feels like it's the middle of July. It is extremely hot outside, so, you know, whatever, you know, make sure if you don't have any fresh water from home, you know how to boil it, and you know that's so important. It's something you ought to read and study up on. They do sell these water purification tablets. Have you ever used those, Rick?
Actually, I have a water purification filter, and there's several type out there. We started out the type that has one hose that goes into your unfiltered water, and then you pump it, and then you pump it into another container. We have one now. It's a gravity bag.
Okay.
You fill one bag up with your unfiltered water, and you put that up high, and then just gravity goes through the filter and then out into your clean water container.
Oh, you hang it up high and you don't take a shower with it?
Actually, you can.
Okay, no. If it's fresh water, you want to drink it. But me, I usually carry about, maybe 10, 15 gallons of fresh water if I am not going to be camping at a public campground where I know the water there is going to be safe.
Well, I always use a Sawyer mini filter when I go, hiking. I do the gravity thing with my bag. And, you get down here in the South, there's streams everywhere. So you can get water from pretty much anywhere. You put it in your gravity bag and let it, do its work, and bam, fresh water.
Okay.
So that's the way to go.
Yeah. And, and just like your lunch menu, you don't have to, do ham sandwiches or anything like that. You can have hot or cold meals. It doesn't really matter. Something you may have for dinner, you may want to consider for lunch. But make sure you have those snacks in between, because they really, really help. And, if you're a careful planner, you can get everything together that you need, and you're not going to be bringing anything home like I do every single time, you're going to nail it, and you'll be just fine. But, we've had some good meals at Camp Rick. We've actually cooked some steaks out there right over the open flames.
Steaks, a family tradition is spaghetti.
Yeah.
Make a big pot of spaghetti sauce.
Like we had last night?
Yep.
Yeah. But we weren't camping. We still got a lot of those meatballs left over, too. If you got a local Sam's, or one of those warehouses, where you can buy things in bulk, buy your big bulk of meatballs. And this way, if you have some left over, you can maybe have some meatball sandwiches for lunch the following day. So, you kind of combine the meals a little bit, and that really helps out, too.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'll eat anything, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm easygoing.
Yes, you are a bottomless pit, and I've seen you firsthand at Camp
as the hiking representative on this podcast. It's all about calories. Like when you're hiking, it's all about what has the most calories, and what is the least amount of weight, and what will this do for me? Like our friend Megan, when she was on the AT, she would eat candy all day because it's loaded with calories and sugar, and she was burning the calories and sugar as fast as it was coming in, so it was in and out. So whatever it takes to get you through the hike.
I really do want to meet her someday.
I know you do.
Yes,
I
Daniel.
know.
Yeah, she managed to hike that Appalachian Trail from start to finish.
She did.
That's where I think that's where she met Gary. Isn't that right?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
became good friends, and they had a little podcast here going for a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
So
actually, one of their friends. If anyone ever listens to their podcast stories from the trail, one of the other co-hosts, his trail name is Reptar. He's on he just got finished taping Naked and Afraid. Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
he was on that show
where they drop you in the middle of the woods, and you got to figure out what to do. And yeah, he's on the latest season. So if anyone's interested in watching that, I think that's kind of cool.
Okay, we'll definitely keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
But it's all about careful meal planning, and we've talked about a lot of our favorites here today on the program, and it just doesn't end there, because all the time that you have to spend at home, all the time that you may be sitting in your recliner right in front of your TV, only dreaming about where you would rather be right now than sitting at home. These are great times to start writing down some new meal ideas, something you've never tried before, something you want to take to camp, something that you think the wife and the kids may enjoy, or other people in your camping party. So you just put it all together, and there's no really right or wrong when it comes to preparing a meal or preparing a menu.
As long as it's what you like.
It really depends on what you like. And I have watched folks that I've camped by very close by when I'm at a public campground, and I see what they're cooking. I'm saying, wow, why didn't I think of something like that? Something like that would be great. And, and I write it down. And you got plenty of time to plan. And that's exactly what we do whenever we decide we want to go camping somewhere. We've never left a campground hungry, have we, Rick?
No, we were always bringing food home.
Yeah, exactly, just like me. Bringing it home, you're bringing food home, and the refrigerator stays stuffed.
I don't
so
bring
nothing
home.
really goes to waste. Well, Daniel, if you would stop for a moment and think that you're camping instead of hiking, then you just
gotta
might
get those calories.
But then on the other hand, when you're camping with me, you always dump that responsibility on me. So
yeah, you like it.
So yeah, camping, good food. It really comes all together anytime you decide you want to go camping. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
And today on the Happy Camper Radio Show, we are going to take you a long way from here, Daniel. We're going out to the state of California.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's near Bishop. It's the French Camp. And French Camp lies in the Rock Creek area of the scenic Sierra Nevada mountains. You like mountains?
That's near the PCT trail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got that big PCT trail near there.
And lots of rain needed out there too, don't they?
Yeah.
It's near Tom's Place and midway between Bishop and Mammoth Lakes, California. It's an ideal location. It makes this campground a good stop for travelers on U.S. Highway 395. And campers can experience the beauty of pines and fragrant junipers that have come to represent the National Forest area. The campground sits among aspens, pinyons, and ponderosa, as well as Jeffrey pines at an elevation of 7,500 feet. That's nosebleed area, Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I have been out to Arizona. You came out to Arizona that one time to see me. And we were up there high, that elevation. It makes it a little difficult to breathe. So, if you're not really prepared for
I had
that.
some respiratory problems with that.
But hey, this area is home to an abundance of wildlife, including black bear, mountain lion, mule deer, and many other species of fish and birds. So if you're into wildlife, this might be a great destination if you happen to be out in the California area. Check out their website. There's a whole lot of information. I'm going to have it up for you all week long on Happy Camper Radio, or you can find it on recreation.gov. Check the activities, including the wildlife viewing. They do have hunting and fishing, picnicking, hiking, camping. They have a food storage locker, and all the information, everything you need to know is right there on the recreation.gov site. And if you don't already have a recreation.gov account, this would be a great time for you to sign up. Look for that little blue button in the upper right-hand corner of the page. Click on sign up. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. And once you have a recreation.gov account, anytime that you make a reservation for a recreation.gov campsite, is going to make your reservation process go a whole lot smoother. And I've camped at a number of recreation.gov accounts, or campsites rather, and they are very clean, they're very well kept, and you meet a lot of great people there too. But consider this, if you happen to be out in the state of California, near Bishop, California, it's French Camp. And it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel. HappyCamperRadio.com.
And if you have a campground you'd like to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at HappyCamperRadio.com. Be sure to include a link to the campground website. Rick, it was great having you on the program today. Daniel, always a pleasure having you in the studio. And this new studio really can't be beat, can it?
Yeah.
It is so much room,
sharp.
so spacious, and we have a great time talking about camping anytime that we get together here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. So, Daniel, where's the next camping trip going to be?
I'm going up to my mom's trailer this weekend, and it's the first time my friend's going to go up there, so we're gonna have some fun. We might be doing some tubing, some swimming if the weatherhead holds up, but we're going to have a good time this weekend.
I'm sure you're going to look forward to it.
Yeah.
Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us on the web 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Rick's a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper. And we're going to do our best to make a happy camper out of you. Talk to you again real soon. You're listening to Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper.